Allah Akbar.
Do you know what he said the most profitable business was?
Timbuktu was also a celebrated center of learning, attracting scholars and thousands of students and teachers from many countries and backgrounds. Books were not only brought into Timbuktu, but local scholars wrote their own books as well, tied to the global Islamic knowledge industry. Activities that culminated in a complex and highly viable socio-economic model.
Leo Africanus, a well-known traveler. I mean, he was a Renaissance man. He did a number of things. But he traveled to Timbuktu, which is in Mali, and he talked about the wealth that existed. And he talked about, the gold trade and how, wealthy the region was, and the scholarship, and how scholarship and learning was so important, that they actually paid their educators well. He said that if you wanted, even though it was wealth in gold and the salt trade and all of that, he said if you wanted to go into business to be the most profitable, you would not go into business being a gold trader. You would not go into business being a salt trader. Do you know what he said the most profitable business was?
What?
The sale of books.
Selling of books.
Being a book trader.
Being a book trader in Africa.
In Africa,
was the most,
in the 1300s.
And that was the most profitable business.
Yeah.
What about women in Islam? There's so much to talk about this. What does the manuscript tell us about women's role and women's respect in Islam?
A lot of people talk about that women are tortured in Islam, and I don't know what my wife would say about that. She's a Muslim, right? But I read some handwritten notes. I was going through, trying to read them. I can't read all of Arabic, but I read some of the notes, how a woman helps her husband.
That particular manuscript that you're talking about, this woman was actually a wealthy woman, so she was a tradesman. So she had, actually became wealthy through being a tradeswoman, and her husband, was in need of, financial assistance. So she actually helped him by purchasing their home, but also Great Sankora Mosque and University was actually built by a wealthy woman we're talking about the Middle Ages. And women's scholarship, women were writers, during this particular period of time. And Ibn Battuta actually talks about the freedom and independence that, when he was in West Africa, that the West African women exhibited.
Sababu feels that the most unique element about the museum is that it's a museum, not a place to worship. So no one will feel afraid of stepping in.
I mean, this museum actually provides a venue that's not intimidating or making one feel that they have to either join or you can't come, you're not welcome if you're not Muslim and things of that nature. But it has a very, very relaxed atmosphere for people who want to know more about it, to venture in and to learn, more and more about a way of life that's been pretty much a very hidden, secret thing in the eyes of the American public for so long.
Here's the President of the United States talking about Islam and its contributions.
As a student of history, I also know civilization's debt to Islam. It was Islam at places like Uluzar that carried the light of learning through so many centuries, paving the way for Europe's Renaissance and Enlightenment. It was innovation in Muslim communities. It was innovation in Muslim communities that developed the order of algebra, our magnetic compass and tools of navigation, our mastery of pens and printing, our understanding of how disease spreads and how it can be healed. Islamic culture has given us majestic arches and soaring spires, timeless poetry and cherished music, elegant calligraphy, and places of peaceful contemplation. And throughout history, Islam has demonstrated through words and deeds the possibilities of religious tolerance and racial equality.
Some of the information that I got from the data available in the museum was shocking. As if for the first time in my life, I had a chance to look at the continent of Africa with a whole new perspective.
Do you think your center, your museum, could eventually become a bridge between East and West if you have the opportunity to take exhibitions like these to the Middle East or to the Muslim world or to South Asia or to Pakistan or Bangladesh and Afghanistan? Do you think that would serve any purpose?
Oh, definitely. I think that the message that the museum have, it with just these exhibits, but as I said, we're looking in the next 5 years to have several other cultural exhibits, the message of the exhibit is, of course, the real teachings of Islam runs through all of our themes, the cultural contributions of Islam, science, technology, the arts,
civil rights,
doing civil rights, human rights, women's rights, those themes run through the subject of the exhibit, and to carry that to across the globe will have an enormous impact on the image, of Islam, but also reintroducing Islam to Muslims as well.
How can this museum benefit Muslims? What is the message of the founders of this museum to the rest of the world? More on this as the legacy of the written word continues.